one from claims to give us the review of the climate conditions for barely 2 months, from February to March 20. Sir Joey.
Good morning. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Rusi, at maraming salamat sa ating mga participants sa pagdalo. Good morning po sa lahat. Ako po si Joey Figuracion. Ang ipipresent ko po sa inyo ay climate review for the past 48 days. So that's starting from February 1 until March 20. So basically, I will be discussing the recent ENSO condition, the weather systems that affected the country in the past 48 days, and the initial assessment of our climate in terms of rainfall and temperature, and the last is the summary. So, punta na po tayo sa ating ENSO indicator for the current ENSO or recent ENSO condition. So, last February, ito pong monthly average ng mga indicators natin in terms of atmospheric indicators and oceanic indicators. So, papakita pa na nasa La Nina phase pa tayo o nasa cold phase pa ng ENSO. But recently, during March, ay nagkaroon na ng decline ng mga indicators na ito at kaya naman final na tayo ng advisory para sa La Nina. So, ito yung ating mga pinagbasihan noon. So, kaya naman itong ating ENSO alert system status sa ngayon ay nasa ENSO neutral na tayo at dahil nga nag-end na yung La Nina at in-issue natin yan noong March 10 base sa ating La Nina final advisory na 18A. So, makikita po ang ating mga advisories regarding sa ENSO dito po sa link. Ito po, dito makikita niyo yan sa aming website. At although nasa ENSO neutral pa na tayo, meron pa rin po tayong ilalabas na mga advisories regarding sa ENSO conditions. So, by that, meron tayong monthly climate assessment and outlook. So, doon pa rin po yan makikita sa ating website. At ito yung in-issue natin na advisory. Meron tayong narrative at meron din pong simplified version. So, titingnan natin yung mga historical episodes ng ENSO in the past 30 years. Base dito sa graph na ito, in the last 30 years, meron tayong tinatawag na triple dip ng La Nina. Triple dip dahil tatlong magkakasunod na taon na sunod-sunod na nasa La Nina phase tayo. So, recently ito, noong 2020 until 2023 this year, so although nasa weak to moderate, pero noong 1998 to 2001 ay nagkaroon tayo ng triple dip din, pero medyo strong siya o nagkaroon siya ng strong episode. At until humina siya, meron din siyang episode na naging weak na or humina na siya noong 2001. Tapos goodbye na tayo doon sa medyo malamig na panahon, lalo na sa gabi. Pero ngayon, hihilaw na natin yung tag-init. So maaring ang iba ang reaction ng tag-init, pero sa iba may positive sa kanila yan na implication or dahil nga tag-init na maaring makapag-enjoy na sa pagbabakasyon or titingnan natin yung ang previous nating termination ng Northeast Monsoon kasi kung baka masabi ninyo na medyo late na, pero actually sa ating mga previous termination ng amihan ay mayroon pa actually tayo nung April na nag-terminate tayo sa month ng April ng 2018 at 2017. So wala pa ngayon recently nung 2022 March din tayo nag-end. At ngayon although medyo late lang ng isang linggo, pero nasa pa naman tayo, nandun pa rin tayo sa usual na termination ng ating amihan. So titingnan natin yung reaction, iba-iba kasi reaction ng tao kung pagdating sa ating termination ng amihan dahil maghihilo na tayo sa tag-init. So maraming nalungkot, marami rin may gusto na nag-terminate na tayo ng amihan, pero siguro dahil nga iba-iba tayo ng perception ng weather, no? iba-iba yung implication sa atin nun. So may nagsabi dito, no, naramdaman nga nila na mas umiinit na nga yung panahon. At mayroon din nagsabi na buti pa yung panahon, mainit na, pero yung relasyon ng kanilang mga kakilala ay nalalamig pa rin. But may nagsabi din, hello Meralco. So ano kaya yung implication ng tag-init? So maaring sinasabi niya, maaring tataas na ulit yung ating bill sa mga kuryente natin dahil mainit, mag-ano tayo, mag-aircon na, magagamit ng maraming appliances. So may ano rin yan sa paggamit ng kuryente. Then, alam lang ating mga kababayan na babalik din ito sa cycle, no? By October, maaring may ulit malamig ulit dahil may amihan tayo ulit by October. Now, sa ating initial na assessment ng ating klima, pagdating na in terms po ito sa rainfall and temperature. So, ang mga system po o weather system na apekto sa atin mula nung February 1 until March 20. So, may mga localized thunderstorm tayo. So, ito yung tinatawag natin at sinasabi ng ating mga forecaster na bigla ang pagbuhos ng ulan, no? So, mainit, nagkakaroon ng mas malinsangang panahon, pero maya-maya, nagkakaroon na ng bigla ang pagbuhos ng ulan dahil sa thunderstorms. Then, although end na nga tayo ng amihan, pero nung February until March 10 ay meron pa ring amihan din naman. So, isa yan sa nagbigay din ng mga pag-ulan lalo na sa eastern side ng ating bansa. At itong shear line din, no? So nagko-cause din ito ng malalakas na pag-ulan. So mostly sa eastern side ng ating bansa ay naka-apekto yan ang mga low pressure areas at naka-apekto din sa atin yung easterlies. Most of that ay rain-bearing, ay ang mga nabanggit ko na una ay rain-bearing weather system. Itong ridge of high pressure area tulad ng banggit kanina ng ating forecaster ay nagbibigay ng mas clear sky o generally clear sky at hindi siya masyadong nagpapaulan at magandang panahon ang kanyang binibigay, although maalinsangan ang kanyang bigay na panahon. Now, in terms of rainfall during February, part sa aming dahil sa aming initial assessment ay napagtala ng near to above normal rainfall condition sa malaking bahagi ng ating bansa, except doon sa mga areas na nasa kulay yellow at pula, which is way below normal to below normal. So particularly yung mga lugar na yan ay yung Ilocos provinces, part ng Ilocos provinces sa Baler or sa Aurora, sa Occidental Mindoro, patches din ng Oriental Mindoro, at yung central part ng Palawan, dito sa Sarangani at sa South Cotabato. So, but generally, most part ng bansa ay above or near to above normal ng ulan ang naitala. Now, pagdating naman sa temperature assessment o sa temperatura ng February, ay generally, ang sinasabi dito na during daytime ay nagkakaroon tayo ng cooler environment. Nagkaroon tayo ng cooler environments. During nighttime, during February, ay mas mainit naman yung ating environment. Anong ba ibig sabihin nito? Dahil nga nakita nyo kanina sa rainfall ay mas maraming ulan sa most part ng bansa. So maari na yung cloud cover natin ay maaring magkakaroon tayo ng mas maraming mga bubuo ng mga thick clouds. So kapag ibig sabihin, malaki rin ang chance na actually nakita din naman sa amount ng rainfall na malaking bahagi ng ating bansa ay nagkaroon ng mga pag-ulan. But ang ay normally kung maulan ang ating environment ay hindi nakaka-escape itong ang ulan ay nagkakaroon ng cooling effect during daytime sa ating temperatura. Pero kung gabi naman dahil natatrap itong ating long wave radiation o ang init ng ground ay hindi nakaka-escape itong init at normally kasi 'di ba ang trend pag gabi ay mas bababa na yung ating temperatura. Pero kung ang cloud cover natin ay overcast, so natatrap siya. So hindi nagkakaroon ng cooling. So that's why during night time ay mas mainit yung ating minimum temperature. So maybe that explain bakit mas mainit yung gabi natin noong February at mas malamig yung ating daytime. Now, in terms naman sa mga extremes, nakapagtala tayo ng maximum temperature na 36 o highest temperature na 36.0 sa San Jose, Occidental Mindoro noong February 2 at February 7. Sa Metro Manila, ang pinakamataas ay sa Pasay City, 34.1 noong February 25. Now, sa atin namang extreme na mababa, ang nakapagtalaan niyan ay sa bahagi po ng Baguio at Benguet. So sa La Trinidad ay 8.7 noong February 12, noong February 16, 10.2 sa Baguio City. While kung titingnan na natin yung Metro Manila, ang pinakamababa na temperatura sa Metro Manila noong February ay 20.2 sa Quezon City sa aming Science Garden Station noong February 16. So, sa February, sa initial assessment namin, ay wala namang nakasurpass sa extreme record for the month of February sa lahat ng stasyon ng Pag-asa. Now, this explains actually, although medyo technical ito, gagawin ko lahat para ma-explain sa inyo paano maintindihan bakit mas maulan tayo at mas mainit tayo nitong mga nakaraang February. Dahil nga itong nagkaroon kasi ng large scale na enhanced environment. Anong ibig sabihin niyan? Mas maraming, kung enhanced kasi environment, mas nagkakaroon ng favorable environment ng pagbubuo ng mga makakapal na clouds. That's why, so mas marami ding ulan ang ating naitala noong February. Then, yun nga, kung mas maraming clouds, yun sa naman, in terms of ground heating, ay mas konti yung heating natin. Pero, during daytime, dahil normally, ang trend ay bababa temperature, natatrap yung heat na yun. Kasi meron pa rin naman talaga tayong long wave radiation. So, that's why, mas So, nakikita ninyo dito na mula February, yung halos buong February, ay increase o yung meron tayong enhanced environment. So, mas maraming cloudiness. That's why, mas maraming din tayong mga pag-ulan. So, I hope na, pero kung may question po kayo regarding dito sa image or sa mga data na ito, you can raise sa ating chat. Later, sasagutin po natin. Now, for the month of March until March 20 po for our initial assessment. So, makikita natin ito, maraming pula, pero although initial lang ito, 1 to 20, base sa normal, way below normal pa most part actually yung most part ng bansa, below to way below normal. Pero until at least for 20 days pa lang naman ito. Pero meron pa tayong around 10 days or 11 days. So titingnan natin sa next assessment natin kung magkakaroon pa tayo ng pagdagdag sa ating mga pag-ulan. Now, bakit nga ba medyo hindi mababa tayo dun sa normal base sa 20 days natin na assessment? Recently kasi, kung may nabanggit ko kanina, yung enhanced, no? Ngayon naman, ay nasa suppress environment tayo dahil mayroon large scale na na dumadaan na system. So, kung actually na-associate ito sa Madden-Julian oscillation. But later, i-explain niya ng ating kasama kung ano yung Madden-Julian at ano maging epekto niya in the next coming weeks. So, in the past 20 days, titingnan ninyo dito yung brown shade ay nitong Hogg-Moller diagram, ang tawag dito, ay suppress yung ating environment. So, less clouds ang na-form. So, that's why, konti rin yung actually ang ating mga pag-ulan. Kung napapansin nyo, walang masyadong ulan, dry, ang ating condition during the past 20 days. Now, for the temperature assessment naman, in the last 20 days, so titingnan niyo dito, sa ating temperature, daytime and nighttime temperatures natin ay mababa siya than usual. Ibig sabihin, mas cooler day and night environment yung naranasan natin in the past 20 days. So bakit? Tingnan muna natin ito. Sa mga nakaraang araw mula March 1 until March 20 ay ito ang ating naitala na mga temperatura. Extremes from maximum temperature. Ang pinakamataas nating temperatura na itala March 20, 35.7 sa Zamboanga City. At i-zoom natin sa Metro Manila. Ang Metro Manila ay nakapagtala ng 34.0 na pinakamataas temperatura, sa Pasay City pa rin noong March 16. Kung titingnan natin yung pinakamababang temperatura sa Metro Manila ay 19.5 sa Quezon City at noong March 5, at yung pinakamababa nating temperatura ay dyan pa rin sa Northern Luzon. Of course, sa La Trinidad, Benguet ay nakapagtala tayo ng 10.0 noong March 3 at 10.9 naman sa Baguio City noong March 6. So wala pa rin, as of March 20, wala tayong extremes na surpass sa lahat po ng stasyon ng Pag-asa. So kung titinan mo nga dyan, mas cooler yung ating March. Bakit? Pero wala tayong ulan. Kung titingnan nyo kasi, itong ating wind analysis, so kung sinasabi nating meridional wind, ay yun po yung north to south wind. So ano po siya, yung transport yan siya yung nagtatransport ng from north to south na advection na tinatawag sa meteorology. But for zonal wind, ay ito yung east to west na hangin. So kung ririnig nyo, sinasabi ng ating mga forecaster, easterlies, yan, westerlies, yan po yun, zonal wind po yan. Pero pag sinabing north, itong amihan, ay ganyan po, ay north, from north po yan. So that's why may meridional wind tayo na kino-consider. So during the past 18 days ng March, kung mapapansin po dito ninyo, itong nakabilog na ay may mga anomalous tayo na meridional wind. So in this case, ay anomalous southerlies. So, mas malakas ang southerlies during March. At itong dito rin sa ang 850 hectopascal level po pala ay nasa 1,500 meters above from the ground. So, mas malakas, ibig sabihin mas malakas yung southerlies noong mga nakaraang mga araw. So, ano ibig sabihin po niyan? So, di ba nasa amihan tayo? So, ibig sabihin, mas natatransport yung malamig na hangin mula doon sa winter or temperate areas. So, that's why yung transport noon ay nakakarating sa atin. So, that's why mas malamig tayo noong nakaraang mga araw. At ito, mas ma-explain ito, courtesy ito ng EarthNal. Mas nakikita ninyo, mas ma-explain ito noon. Sa 250 level kasi makikita natin itong ganito, ay actually ito yung tinatawag na polar vortex, no? So sa upper level siya, so about 12,000 meters altitude. Pero kung nag-dip kasi yan, pag umabot sa ating tinatawag na jet stream, subtropical jet, ay natatransport niya yung mas sobrang lamig na na hangin. So that's why nakakaabot sa atin kung favorable yung lower atmosphere. So during that time, titingnan nyo dito sa 850, hindi ko na pinakita yung mga lower pa na altitude, pero support lang dito ay favorable yung environment that time na ibaba niya yung malamig, sobrang lamig na air mass. That's why mas malamig tayo. Actually, nakapagtalaka nga tayo nung nakita nyo kanina na temperatura ng March 5 at March 16 sa Baguio. So in summary, nasa ENSO neutral tayo ngayon dahil nga nag-halt na or nag-end na yung La Nina or yung cold phase ng ENSO. So nag-final tayo ng March 10. So ibig sabihin wala tayong yung active phase ng ENSO. Nasa ENSO neutral tayo. For the month of February, ang ating ulan na naitala ay near to above normal sa malaking bahagi ng ating bansa, except doon sa way below normal sa mga ilang bahagi ng ating bansa, particularly nasa Ilocos Norte, sa Metro Manila, Baler, Ilocos Sur, Sarangani, South Cotabato, central part ng Palawan at portion ng Zambales at Mindoro provinces. Generally, yung ating temperatura, yung nabanggit ko kanina, mas mainit ang ating environment nung gabi nung February, pero mas malamig naman tayo during daytime. Nung March 1 to 20, below normal rainfall condition o way to below normal ang ating natalang kondisyon ng ating ulan sa malaking bahagi ng ating bansa. At generally near to below average surface air temperature ang ating naitala sa malaking bahagi ng ating bansa nitong March. So kung may katanungan po kayo, later sasagutin po natin sa ating open forum. Yan po nagtatapos ang aking presentation. Maraming salamat po. Ibabalik ko na po sa ating MC, Ms. Rusi.
Thank you, Sir Joey. So, yun pala, in almost 2 months, no, marami tayong significant events na nangyari. Na-terminate yung ating northeast monsoon, kaya medyo mainit na yung ating temperatura, and then also the final advisory for La Nina. And then, thank you also, Sir Joey, for explaining bakit malamig yung nangyari sa ating March ngayon, bakit ganun yung ating temperature. So, the next to present the kanina in monthly, then we have now the forecast for the sub-seasonal to seasonal. Ito yung week 1 and week 2 forecast na ibibigay ni Ms. Remedios Shervo, our senior weather specialist from CLIMS. Ms. Remy?
Thank you, Ms. Lucy. Share ko lang po yung screen ko. Okay na po yung aking screen. Ano, Ms. Lucy? Okay, may screen to? Sige. Ang galing. Search. Ang galing to. Okay. Again, good morning. I'm Remedios L. Shervo from CLIMS. This morning, I will discuss the sub-seasonal to seasonal climate forecast. Yung outline po ng presentation ko, what is a sub-seasonal to seasonal or the S2S forecasting, predictability of S2S and the sub-seasonal climate forecast. For the sub-seasonal prediction, it contributes to fill the gap between weather and seasonal time scale. Kanina, nabanggit ni Ms. Veronica, yung ano ba yung mga naka-apekto sa atin for the past few days, yung for the past few days, tsaka for the weather prediction ng 1 to 14 days, ano ba yung magiging weather forecast natin for the ano yung weather forecast, ano ilang naasahan nating bagyo, pero sa loob lamang ng ilang araw. Samantalang ito namang seasonal prediction, ito yung forecast for 1 to 6 months or up to 1 year. Mga rainfall prediction or rainfall outlook for the next 6 months, temperature or the tropical cyclone. Pero dito, ipipil niya yung gap for the prediction for 2 weeks to 2 months. And what are the main sources S2S predictability? Kaya po siya tinawag na S2S, sub-seasonal to seasonal prediction. And yung sources na niya, yung MJO or the Madden-Julat oscillation, which will be discussed later, yung ocean lat ice surface conditions na include yan yung El Niño Southern Oscillation or the ENSO, the soil moisture, the snow cover, at ito naman i-discuss later sa mga susunod presentation, and the stratosphere-troposphere interaction. Source po niya is the WM or the World Meteorological Organization. And what is MJO? Makikita niyo dito sa video, it is an intra-seasonal eastward moving daw po disturbance of clouds, winds, rainfall, and pressures that circles tropical areas of the globe in 30 to 60 days oscillation. Makikita niyo yung ikot niya, ayan siya. Kung nasaan siya, doon merong mga, kung saan siya matapat, doon siya may mga convective activities na nabibigay ng mga maraming pag-ulan. And it is named after the two scientists, Dr. Roland Magen and Dr. Paul Julian. Why is MJO important? Yung MJO kasi may different phases. Example dito, for the cycle 1, for example, cycle for week 1. For example, dito siya natapat. Yung MJO nandito sa phase na to, dito siya may convective activities or dito increased rain. Dito na, makikita natin sa week 2 to 3, dito sa parting northern ng sa taas ng Australia, doon yung merong mga pag-ulan. It can enhance, MJO can enhance or suppress the rainfall in the equatorial area, including the Philippines. Kung natapat siya sa atin, maraming pag-ulan. Kung doon naman sa kabilang side, yung kukunti ang ulan. Mamaya makikita natin, nasaan na ba ngayon yung MJO. And then, act as a modulator of tropical cyclone formation in the country. Alam naman natin na pag marami tayong bagyo, yun ay nakakadagdag sa mga pag-ulan. At kung konti naman 50% ng ating ulan ay galing sa bagyo. For the composite of the MJO life cycle, pinakikita lamang dito, makikita natin, ito yung tropical rainfall natin. Sa mga green to blue areas, makikita natin, ito yung increased rainfall or the enhanced phase of the MJO. Yung namang mga brown areas dito, decreased rainfall or the suppressed phase of the MJO. Ito yung different phase niya. Ito yung aasahan mo pag nasa phase 2 siya, nasa phase 3 siya, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ito sa phase 1. Nasaan ba yung Pilipinas? Kung mapapansin nyo, maraming blue color pag nasa phase 5 siya at nasa phase 6. For the MJO recent evolution, makikita natin dito sa figure. I think for the past 40 days, ito yung MJO from February 8 to March 19, 2023. Yung green color, yun yung adapted from BOM NOAA last March 19. The MJO has strong signal and was detected in Africa. Dito nga sa phase 1 in the past week. Pareho sila yung dalawang model. Then, yung cloudiness, nandito nga sa may Africa, kung mapapansin natin, walang cloudiness dito sa Pilipinas. Sabihin, wala siyang dalang ulan yung MJO. For the forecast evolution from March 22 to April 4, may tatlo tayong model dito, yung JEPS forecast, ECFWF forecast, at BOM forecast. Ito, pinakita dito yung MJO, forecast MJO evolution from March 20, 2023 to April 3, 2023. For the next 15 days, ito yung movement ng MJO. Parang nandito pa rin siya sa area na to. Ito yung kanyang forecast. Kasi ito yung start niya. Tapos dito pa rin siya sa may phase 1 at phase 2. Again, same here. Yan. Ito naman yung movement ng MJO. Saan ba yung Pilipinas? Ito. Nandito yung mga blue color, yung mga enhanced rainfall, yung brown, yung mga surface rainfall. At models indicate that the MJO will continue to move eastward from Africa to the Indian Ocean, although with a weakening signal. Nasa Africa siya, sa kabilang side, nandito naman tayo sa Pilipinas. Kaya, wala tayong pag-ulan. Pakitahin yung kanina. Yan, ito, yung cloudiness, nandito sa Africa, tayo, suppress ang ating rainfall. For the sub-seasonal climate forecast, for the week 1 and week 2 forecast, start muna tayo sa tropical cyclone TC threat potential. Dito sa graph na to, pinakikita yung possibility or the formation of a TC-like vortex within the PMD is unlikely. Walang nakikita na tropical cyclone-like vortex or as a result, there is no TC threat in week 1. Same with week 2. For the next 2 weeks, wala po tayong inaasahang bagyo. However, any changes in forecast pattern will be closely monitored and updates will be issued as needed. Sa ngayon po, wala tayong nakikita pero nag-update naman po kami 3 times a week kaya malalaman po natin sa mga susunod na araw kung magbabago po ba itong forecast na to. Dito naman, ito yung mga tropical cyclone climatological tracks for March in the Philippine area of responsibility. responsibility. Ito yung mga inaasahan nating bagyo during March. Meron siyang dalawang track, thesis form in the Western Pacific. Ito yung number 1. Pwede siyang mag-enter sa PAR, pero magre-recarb afterwards. Yung namang isa, na po-form sa Western Pacific, pero may enter the PAR and make landfall in the Central Pacific before dissipating in the South China Sea. For the next track, yung track naman ng April, meron tayong apat na possible track na po-form sa Western Pacific, na re-record. Yung pangalawa, nasa Western Pacific din, nagre-record, pero nagpupunta naman sa May Japan. Yung 3 and 4, pareho siyang nagla-landfall, nagtatraverse sa Central Philippines. Yung number 3, nagre-record sa Japan. At yung namang TC number 4, eto nga yun, na bubuo sa Western Pacific at nag-enter sa PAR and traverse sa Central Philippines and move towards Vietnam. For the rainfall exceedance probability forecast, dito sa mga mapa, makikita natin may mga color siya. Pag nakakita tayo ng red color, very high probability, yellow, orange to red, high probability, light green to blue, moderate probability, at yung white to light green, yung low probability. Pag mas red siya, mas malaki yung chance niya na mag-exceed siya ng 25 mm. For the week 1, March 22 to March 28, high to very high probability of rainfall to exceed 25 mm in most parts of Mindanao and Eastern Samar. Ito po yung area na yon, ito yung Eastern Samar, and moderate probability in Cordillera region, while low chance over the rest of the country. For 50 mm and 100 mm, wala siyang ganong kulay, white to light green, kaya low probability of rainfall. Yung naasahan po nating ulan for week 1 ay hindi mag-i-exceed ng 50 mm at 100 mm rainfall. Ganon din naman for week 2, yung week 1 lang natin mas maraming ulan, yung for 25 mm, high to very high probability of rainfall to exceed 25 mm in Mindanao, kasi po siya, nakita nyo red siya, and moderate to high probability in Eastern Visayas, Samar, tsaka etong Leyte, and moderate to high probability in Northern Luzon. Ito sa part na to, while low chance over the rest of the country. Moderate to high naman, kasi ito nga yun, yellow, orange to red, moderate to high probability of rainfall to exceed. Yung chance yan mag-exceed ng 50 mm in most parts of Mindanao, low chance over the rest of the country. For the 100 mm, less yung probability niya or low. And for the summary of subseasonal forecast, kanina nakita natin current MJO status, models indicate that the MJO will continue to move eastward from Africa to the Indian Ocean, although with a weakening signal na yung MJO nasa may Africa, reverse naman yung sa atin, konti lang yung mga pagda natin. O wala, dry yung sa atin, sa kanila maraming land. For the tropical cyclone, TC threat potential for week 1 and week 2, no TC threat, walang TC threat tayo inaasahan, and suggest a low likelihood of tropical cyclone formation. For the rainfall exceedance forecast for the 25, 50, 100, for the 25 mm, high to very high siya in most parts of Mindanao and Eastern Samar, moderate probability naman siya for the Riviera region at low chance over the rest of the country. 50 mm and 100 mm, low ang probability niya sa buong parte ng bansa. For the week 2, March 29 to April 4, yung chance niya to exceed 25 mm is very high, a high to very high probability in Mindanao, moderate to high probability in Eastern Visayas and Northern Luzon, while low chance over the rest of the country. For 50 mm, moderate to high probability in most parts of Mindanao, while low chance over the rest of the country. For 100 mm, hindi po natin inaasahan, maliit po yung chance na magkaroon ng 100 mm na rainfall sa buong bansa. Yung mga pre-listen ko po kanina, kung gusto nyo balikan, sabi ko nga po, nag-update kami every 3 times a week. Makikita nyo po dito sa aming website, Bagong Pag-asa, .gov.ph. Makikita natin sa drop-down menu ng tropical cyclone, si threat potential forecast, At eto na nga po, nandito yung tropical cyclone, visit threat potential, while the rainfall exceedance dito sa under climate prediction, the subseasonal, eto na yung kanyang subseasonal to seasonal forecast ng week 1 to week 2 for the JEPs. Eto yung week 1, week 2. Pag clinic mo to, week 2 naman yung makikita nyo. Yun lamang po at maraming salamat. Ms. Lucy.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Remy, for giving us what we do we expect sa loob ng 2 linggo. So, yan. Wala pa tayong inaasahang formation ng bagyo and also less yung ating ulan na inaasahan. So, I think we are early than our schedule. So, pwede tayo siguro mag-break muna ng 10 minutes. Pwede tayo magkape, mag-CR para to prepare for another 2 lectures na sa susunod na 10 minutes, within 10 minutes. So, yan. Sir, yan, paki-ano na lang ng ating, i-play mo yung ating tube. See you in 10 minutes.
One nation, one goal, one in the spirit of delivering early warning services in the global. One nation, one goal, one in the spirit of delivering early warning services in the global community. Coming into force on March 23, 1950, the World Meteorological Organization, or WMO, a specialized body of the United Nations mandated to promote international cooperation among national meteorological and hydrological services, or NMHS globally, commemorates every 23rd of March to showcase the essential contributions of various NMHS to the safety and well-being of the society. This year, alongside with the celebration of the 73rd World Meteorological Day, the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, under the umbrella of the Department of Science and Technology, will be commemorating the 158th National Meteorological Day, which anchors on the WMO's theme, the future of weather, climate, and water across generations. The theme is inspired by the fact that our weather and climate and the water cycle know no national and political boundaries, and thus, local and international cooperation is essential in translating science into services for society, for present and future generations. Greater coordination between national meteorological and hydrological services and disaster management authorities is fundamental to better prevention, preparedness, and response. This year's Meteorological Day highlights various activities to make the celebration festive and educational. On March 20, a Christie competition on meteorology webcast, Medconnect, open to junior high school students in the Greater Metro Manila area, will be conducted, which aims to strengthen technical and scientific capabilities of young science enthusiasts in meteorology and allied sciences. Winners will receive cash prizes plus certificates of recognition. On March 20 to 21, the Philippine Meteorological Society will have its annual convention for 2023. On March 22, a tour of Pag-asa Regional Services Divisions, that is, PRSD Virtual Tour, will be conducted in the morning to highlight PRSD profiles and delivery of public water services for the disaster risk reduction and management in Northern Luzon, Southern Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and the National Capital Region. Simultaneous to the PRSD virtual tour is the conduct of the 158th Climate Forum, which presents weather and hydrological updates, review of climate conditions, sub-seasonal to seasonal forecast, and climate outlook. And on March 23, the program will commence through a Eucharistic Mass celebration in the morning, followed by a scientific forum, which will highlight various DRR-related topics, particularly focusing on water for sustainable future, to be presented by various stakeholders, an early warning system for water-related challenges, which presents Pag-asa's hydrometeorological initiatives. Simultaneous to the scientific forum are the fun games organized by the Pag-asa Weatherman Employees Association, or PWEA. The afternoon session will highlight a press conference and the awarding of Pag-asa Tawad Awards to employees who exhibited exemplary accomplishments in the pursuit of public service. Awarding of the winners for the Metanic Quiz B will be done during the Gawad Pag-asa awarding ceremony. In the evening is the much-awaited conferment of Win-Vein Awards to individuals and institution partners that have greatly contributed